There's an old Harry Belafonte song I wanted to play for you, but we couldn't arrange it. It says, "House built on a weak foundation will not stand. Oh no. Stories told till all creation will not stand. Oh no." Research for ME/CFS has been built on a pitifully weak foundation. The CDC has totally neglected the epidemiology and thereby sabotaged the progress of medical science where ME/CFS is concerned, which leaves me sick since 1989. Very, very sick. But the CDC's epidemiologists have made it clear they prefer Indiana Jones type adventures in exotic climes to us. The senior officer of the two-man epidemiology team CDC sent to Incline Village, Nevada after the 1985 outbreak refused to examine any patients or take any samples. At the last moment, local doctors managed to force a few blood samples on the junior man as he left town, but to no avail, it turned out. Back at CDC headquarters in Atlanta, the theme was contempt for ME/CFS patients. Contempt festered and rooted deep in the walls. Staff hung up signs around the office cleverly satirizing the ME/CFS patients as malingering whiners. They were very witty. Outside experts told them the disease was myalgic encephalitis, but the CDC insisted on giving it the dismissive and demeaning name of chronic fatigue syndrome, thereby laying down the false trail of fatigue that has misled researchers and cheated patients of care ever since. Now it's 28 years on. HIV/AIDS has been tamed, though alas not vanquished, but us with our own acquired immune deficiency syndrome. In the absence of epidemiology and serious research, CDC and NIH, whose salaries we pay, have preferred to blame psychological causes and imagine psychological cures, following the late Dr. Reeves and his English friend. Finally, the ridiculous telephone survey in Georgia produced a stew of data that allowed Dr. Reeves to remold the ME/CFS definition, 2003-2005, into a distinctly psychological ailment. Through all these years of cruel and irresponsible neglect, one theme has been constant: the institutionalized misogyny at the government agencies. A conspicuous majority of ME/CFS patients have been women, a good reason not to bother about them. This is an emergency now. 1 million of us, at least, are in various degrees of dying. 17 million worldwide. What we need now, first of all, within a month or two, is to make the disease ME/CFS reportable and reported. I can hear the objections already. CDC has no surefire definition to go by. That wine must not be allowed to stop science. We start with Ian Lipkin's example of doubling up on Fukuda CFS and Canadian 2 ME definitions. Then we make de rigueur the classic ME/CFS criteria, collapse after exertion. You can call it malaise, post-exertion malaise, but I call it collapse. We add in depressed NK cytotoxicity and other immune characteristics from Ms. Fletcher. No, this isn't perfect, but neither are the definitions for many, many other diseases. It is good enough, like Winnicott's Good Enough Mother, and that is the productive way to get going. Second urgency: once ME/CFS is reportable, CDC should get its hands on every qualified corpse it can find. Autopsies will let us break the code on this disease. Indeed, one recently yielded a brilliant insight on mechanisms by which the Epstein-Barr virus could destroy brain cells in MS. That was in England. We also need some doctors. Now there are perhaps about 12 specialists in the whole country. Please, CDC, take down the ridiculous toolkit on Friday, then put together from America's top clinicians a proper briefing for practicing physicians and a summary to go into every medical school course in America. And all CDC staff should be required to read everything Tom Kindlon has written on all the manipulations and machinations that went on to hide the failures of CBT and GET to produce the desired results in Britain's £5 million PACE report. As Harry Belafonte used to conclude, house built on a rock's foundation, it will stand. Now CDC and NIH must at long last build a strong foundation for science to go forward. Thank you. Anyone who wants to read up on some of the historic facts I mentioned for the first decade after Incline Village should read Hillary Johnson's unfortunately titled book, Osler's Web, which is a brilliant case of documentation, and Hillary would have been a brilliant muckraker if she had not gotten this disease.
If you would like to sponsor MECFS Alert, please contact us at mecfsalert@gmail.com. Help us to help you.